And no matter how much you practice, it doesn't matter. Because there will always be situations where there are people and situations beyond your control. There is a concept called sledging in cricket. And sledging is low class. It is low class. It is cheap. Where the opponent team comes and gives gali to the batsman. Gali. They try to distract them from and take their focus away. Gali de ke focus nikalte. One thing that Sachin Tendulkar is known for is to remain cool. One thing that Sachin is adored for in the history of cricket is sledging hasn't bothered him. When people call names, people give gali and people do all kinds of stuff. This man is cool. Are you cool? When people do sledging against you in the game of life, are you cool? Or you lose your cool? One Gujarati lady, she asked her husband, આપણે દિવાળીમાં શું gift લાવશો તમે મારા માટે? I don't know Gujarati. What will you get for me? So he said, kutri. He said, kutri. So this lady got so upset, said, તારી માં કૂતરી, તારો બાપ કૂતરો, તારો ભાઈ કૂતરો, તારી family કૂતરી. And then the husband said, Ari Bavri, Bakudi. The husband spat out the gutka and said, Q3, Audi Q3, Baba. So when you put mawa and gutka in the mouth, then Q3 sounds kutri. There will always be people who are out of control. Can you stop a guy from criticizing you? Can you stop an opponent team from sledging? Kuch nahi kar sakte. It's called things which are out of our control. People are out of our control sometimes. One lady had a fight with the husband. और झगड़ा हो गया पति पत्नी में, तो उसने अपनी माँ को फोन किया, मम्मी मैं नहीं रह सकती इधर, ये बहुत हो गया, मैं झगड़ा हो गया, अभी मैं 2 हफ्ते के लिए आपके पास आ रही हूं मैं मम्मी. तो उसकी माँ बोली, नहीं बेटा, उसको उसके कर्मों का फल भुगतना चाहिए, तो तू उधर ही रुक, मैं 2 महीने के लिए आती हूँ उधर. मैं दिखाती हूँ उसको, तू उधर ही रहे. Oh my goodness, you can imagine, you know. Are people in control? Can you control what people say about you? What people think about you? You have nothing. Are situations in your control many times? No. The guy who was batting was expecting an in-swing ball. And that's what the bowler bowled. And one gush of wind, an in-swing becomes an outswing. And is caught out. क्या हो गया? बॉलर ने बराबर, उसने तो इन-स्विंग डाला, इसको भी लगा इन-स्विंग, बीच में हवा आ गया बस. हाथ में आपके. Lot of things, situations, people are just out of our control. How many of you think question paper is in your control? So excited. And when things go wild, I'll tell you what happens with us. I'll tell you what happens with us. This is what happens with us. You know? Oh, a little bit. This is what happens with us. See? See how it foams up? We react. The stimulus of a person sledging against us, criticizing, pulling us down, envious of us, conspiring, politicking, makes us react and foam out. We start reacting also. And look at this. This is also sealed. The question is, do you want to be a 7-Up can or a Oxycool bottle of water? And I'm sure a lot of us would say, Prabhu ji, हमको तो दूसरा कुछ सोचता ही नहीं है प्रभु जी. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many situations which are completely out of our control. Don't consume your minds by something that you can do nothing about. Why are we consuming our minds by something that is absolutely beyond our scope to do anything? Shall I tell you something? A good 70% of our mind is occupied by these things. Statistic. 70% mind space is occupied by things that you have no control over. क्या करेंगे बोलिए? Learn this master stroke. Not to react, but to respond. Of course, easier said than done, you know. Do you react? Like a 7-Up can? Or do you respond? Like that water bottle? Is the question that we all have at front. And thus, in our life, we will always have a stimulus and we can choose to respond because between the stimulus and response is our choice. Between the stimulus and the response is the choice. Sledging to Sachin Tendulkar is a stimulus. And his response is, he's been a water bottle his whole life. Without reacting. He wasn't an automatic water bottle. He has chosen to be a water bottle. The nurse did not give birth to a Sachin Tendulkar in the maternity ward. Well, घ्या तुमचा Sachin घ्या. Century मारूनच आलाय घ्या. A Sachin wasn't created in the maternity ward. A Sachin was created by choice. A great personality is not born in the maternity ward. A great personality is born by the choices that one makes. And therefore, when there are all kinds of stimuli, we have to learn how to respond. Easier said than done again. If we are not strong spiritually, it is impossible. If we are not strong culturally, it is impossible. All this sounds great and good and we know, yes, I want to do it. I can't be a can of soda. I want to be a water bottle. But is it so easy? No. That is why coming here is so important. That is why chanting Mala is so important. That is why reading the Gita is so important. That is why these foundational ethics of spirituality are so crucial in this age. As all of you are going to be successful in your own areas of life, if not cricket per se, you know. And thus, we have to learn how to respond. One man, an expert batsman, 5,000 years back, had an opponent in him who was so envious. Sledging. He was sledging. And this man, this batsman hadn't done much, little bit something, out of hunger and thirst. And this bowler called Shringi was sledging, calling names against the emperor of planet Earth, Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of Arjun and the Pandavas. Sledging, calling him a low-class person, calling him all kinds of things, words. And he threw a googly. A googly that would make anyone react. Maharaj Parikshit was cursed. Cursed that he would die in 7 days and 7 nights by being bitten by a snake bird called Takshak. Dead, burned to flames by the bite of this venomous flying serpent called Takshak. This personality, Parikshit, because of his spiritual practice and Krishna consciousness, did not become a soda can. He could have reacted and counter-cursed. He had more power than Shringi to counter-curse. If he had to do sledging, he would have been better. He didn't do. Maharaj Parikshit decided to be a bottle of water by utilizing his life to surrender to the Lord and benefit others. And that is when he came to the banks of the river Ganga. And Shukdev Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit. Thank God, because that's how we learn what the master strokes of life are. Our Vedic literatures and our books have it all. All we need to do is look at it from that perspective and we will see it there. You know? My goodness. Therefore, my Guru Radhanath Maharaj, he says, don't ask the question why. Why did this happen to me? Ask the question how. How should I deal with it? For that question why, either there are no answers or there are no satisfactory answers. Why did the in-swing ball become outswing by a gush of wind? Do you know? How will you ever know? I was dancing in that kirtan in Udupi and the ground was unleveled. How did I know? There was a carpet on top of that. Would I know? Am I Paramatma to look behind? Underneath that carpet there will be unleveled ground. I was dancing in the kirtan. And a strong jerk and a Jones fracture. Why? Why did it happen to me among so many people? We are all cribbing and complaining and crying all the time. Why me? Why did this happen to me? Why? To that question, why? Either there are no answers or there are no satisfactory answers because there are factors beyond our control, which is not an assessment of the opponent, which is not just based on practice. एक हवा का झोंका future बदल देता है. You know? And therefore Radhanath Maharaj says, मलेरिया हो गया ना? तो डॉक्टर बोलता है मलेरिया हो गया, दवाई खाओ. बोला नहीं मैं दवाई नहीं खा सकता. क्यों? नहीं, कौन सा मच्छर काटा पहले बताओ. बोला अरे दुनिया में इतना मच्छर है, you don't have any access to find out which mosquito. Will you ask which mosquito? How many of you would want to know which mosquito has bitten you? Because of which you got malaria. I have had malaria 18 times in the last 19 years. 18 बार मलेरिया हुआ इधर आके. 1996 में 7 छक्का और 1 रन. 7 times I got malaria. मैं ढूंढू राधा गोपीनाथ मंदिर में किधर है मच्छर, कौन सा मच्छर काटा. जब वो मच्छर मिलेगा तब मैं दवाई खाऊंगा. Therefore His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, don't ask why. Why did the mosquito bite you? Why? Hare Krishna. There is something called as karma, a factor that's beyond us. After you have done everything right, you've assessed your opponent, you've done practice in your academics, in your cricket, in your giving lectures, whatever. After all of that is said and done, there is a factor that you have no control over. Success in your hands or what? No. There are factors beyond us, and then don't ask why. Because you will never get an answer. Something from beyond. Ask how. How to deal with this. I don't want to react. I want to respond.